Okay, today we got the Bloodhound, aka the Sleuth Hound. Yeah, that's a nickname that goes way back. You probably didn't never heard that nickname right there. That's a nickname for the books right there. The Bloodhound is one of the oldest scent breeds in town. They were originally bred for tracking and hunting, and usually associated with law enforcement. This breed is a traditional hunting dog. Now, there's two sides to the good old Bloodhound, and we're going to touch on three uniques, and we're going to touch on three downsides of the Bloodhound. So let's get into the meat and bones on this Bloodhound breed. The first unique on this Bloodhound breed is their stick-to-it factor. Once a Bloodhound is on a scent, they're nearly impossible to distract. They're impossible to distract. They focus on the tenacity that makes them the premier choice for search and rescue and trailing missions, where they protect the trail until the subjects are found. This is a real deal old school hunting breed right here, okay? The second unique about the Bloodhound is they're famously docile, okay? And they're slow to anger. They're very slow to anger. This trait serves as as a good guardian role for family settings, as they're exceptional patient with children, and they don't really have snappy behavior like found in other high-sprung hunting breeds. They're very good. They're very good house dogs. They're very good family dogs. It's a low arousal discernment trait that they possess, and they're famously slow to anger. This breed, the Bloodhound. The third unique trait about the Bloodhound is they possess one of the deepest barks. They have a booming type of bark, and the booming is rather like a sharp bark. They're excellent at alerting their owners to newcomers or just unusual activity when they pick up on something. They have a sound that can carry for miles. The Bloodhound's deep bark and howl can be heard for long distances, okay? They possess that booming bark. When you hear a Bloodhound coming, they sound off. They definitely sound off. And with them sounding off is what made them famous in the hunt. They have a lot of detective-like abilities on the hunt when they pick up a scent. Now, they're not tackle dogs. Okay, when they're hunting, they're not gonna catch and tackle anybody. This breed hunting skills they're specialists when it comes to the scent and trailing. They can pick up trails that been around and lingering for several days, okay? There's been cases where they picked up scents that were at least 300 hours later. They have a nose that strong. Their nose has a lot of special abilities to pick up a scent from that old, 300 hours later. They might come off droopy and lazy, but they're highly evolved when it comes to the trail. They're highly evolved when it comes to when they pick up on a scent. Okay, this is a breed specialized on the hunt, the Bloodhound. Now, let's talk about the downsides of owning a Bloodhound. The first downside of owning or possessing a Bloodhound is their extreme scent driven stubbornness. What do I mean by that? If a Bloodhound catches a scent, their nose takes over their brain. Okay, it shuts off to human commands, and they're notoriously just difficult to train once they pick up that scent, man. You got to understand, this is a breed that, when we're talking about bloodlines and breeds, they go back. They stick to their origins. And off the leash, they're very difficult to train off the leash. They're very difficult to train off the leash, and that's why when, always on the hunt, this breed is on the leash. And usually the owner is always being drugged, because once they pick up that scent, they're scent wild, they're scent crazy, and regardless of the traffic or whatever, that dog's gonna hunt. Okay. The second downside of the Bloodhound is their excessive drooling and messiness. And it's due to the fact of their massive, loose jowls. The Bloodhounds are world-class droolers too. Okay, they're world-class droolers, and that just comes with the territory. A quick shake of their head can launch a bunch of saliva onto the walls and the ceiling and just everywhere. And their long ears often drag in food and water bowls and spreading mess throughout the house. It can get messy. The third downside of the Bloodhound is they have a hound odor. Bloodhounds have a naturally oily, water-resistant coat that carries a very distinctive, heavy, doggy type of smell. Even with a regular bath, even with regular bathing, the scent is permanent and can fixture the breed and can be overwhelming in living spaces. And that's just a fact. They just have that odor, that hound odor smell. It's just something that a lot of hound breeds, sometimes, they carry that. It's just part of the breed, just a breed trait. Also, an added note to the Bloodhound, they do have cherry eye problems, right? Usually when you see a cherry eye, when you see a hound, they have that, they have that cherry eye. They have the reddish type of eyes going on, like it's infected and stuff. Well, it's called cherry eye. That has to be treated. Okay. It's a downside of the Bloodhound. They have a lot of folds and wrinkles. Family, when you have this type of breed, when you own Bloodhound breeds, or when you own breeds with the wrinkles and the folds, a rule of thumb is take care of the folds, take care of the wrinkles. They can hold a lot of bacteria and infections. Cherry eye, breeds with these with the thick skins and heavy folds and wrinkles, it has to be inspected. You have to inspect your dog when you have a big breed, when you have a thick skinned breed. When you have a thick skinned breed, they have to be inspected all the time, once a week, twice a week. Check their folds, check their skin. There's nothing worse than a Bloodhound or other breeds, neo-mastiffs or whatever, that have skin problems, fold problems, and you never even knew it. They're not going to talk to you and tell you that. You have to check on your breed. And that comes with owning these breeds, okay? They're always, the food can get stuck in there, can get trapped in there. Dirt can get trapped in there. You have to check on the folds, the skin and the wrinkles with these type of breeds. You just have to. and that is the Bloodhound, aka the Sleuth Hound.